Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's me here again, Mose from MB Rugby, and yeah, today we're talking URC, Sharks versus the Stormers. We have had the Bulls versus Connacht, and then the Lions versus Munster this weekend. Boy, oh boy, show it was. Without any further ado, let's get into it. Hello, everyone. Yes, URC is back in full swing this weekend. First off, we're talking about the Stormers versus the Sharks. Now, the result was not exactly unexpected. The Sharks has always been on top form ever since the this year's Curry Cup tournament. They have been a very strong team. And they pulled out all the stops. I mean, it's basically the Stormers versus the Springboks. You take all the the current and former Springboks that's in the Sharks. It's no wonder that they've actually got this extremely strong team going. They've also got extremely well placed up and coming talent. Apelele Fassi, for one, that has actually performed brilliantly well. Um, Same with Jordan Hendrickson. Since the beginning of this year, this kid has just been shining. So it is it's absolutely going up against like a sort of a David versus Goliath type of scenario, and unfortunately, David lost because the Sharks have just been that well placed and that well kind of formulated throughout the team. Also, they do bring a lot of attributes from their time with the Springboks through to the game as well. Apelele Fassi um, being molded by Tony Brown in as the attacking coach for the Springboks. And you can see it. You can absolutely see it through their performance on the field, even with club rugby. Um, Now, yes, that was unfortunate for the for the Sharks and Stormers. 21-15, a very crucial try right at the end being disallowed. And to me, it almost felt like a bit of a fishing mission. Ref, obviously, on-field decision is a try, but kind of, could you find for me any reason not to award this try? TMO went back about the last two phases, couldn't find anything really to fault with that. So I couldn't exactly hear what the ref was saying, but basically the gist of it was, okay, we are not limited to the last two phases, so let's back it up a bit further, and then they come across, quite rightly so, a knock on by Marley Lebock in the last loose scrum, or right before the try was actually scored. But it is kind of, also laced with a bit of controversy. You could see Pepsi Buthelezzi's hand sort of coming down onto Marley Lebock's hand, kind of knocking it off, and then his hand basically pushes the ball forward. As he's going in to try and, retrieve the ball, at that moment he takes his eyes and his head off the ball, focusing on whom he's going to pass it to. And at that moment, Pepe Buthelezi knocks his hands and he knocks the ball forward. Now, unfortunately, that's not a mitigation. And then, the try was disallowed, which basically would have seen the Stormers win this game by 1 point, as Moni Lebok did go through and then basically grounded the ball underneath the pole. So the conversion would have been a no-brainer. And then from 15 points against 21, try scored would have bring it up to about 20 points. Another 2-point conversion, 22-21. That would have been a win for the Stormers. Unfortunately, didn't happen. But yeah, that was just just one of the little controversies that's come in. The game has basically been pretty less, but I have to admit that Van der Westhuizen had been pretty down the middle with his calls as a referee. It didn't really show any kind of favoritism. In my opinion, kind of did do a bit of nitpicking right at the end with the try by Moni Lebok in overtime. But yeah, unfortunately, that's just how things go. I do believe there was Ethan Hooker's try that was also disallowed due to I think it was a forward pass or something that happened from Apelele Fassi. Wasn't sure, but also the injury to Sasha Fanma-Komazulu. Now, I'm not quite exactly sure what happened there. It did look like there was a bit of a head contact, although Van der Westhuizen with the TMO did kind of conclude that the brunt of the knock was against Sasha's chest from the shoulder of Trevor Nyankane. So, and of course, he was already on the way down from the first tackle. So even though Trevor Nyankane didn't quite dip into the tackle and everything, there was no head contact, no direct head contact. And I think that the major injury was more to Sasha's knee that's already, having problems with, rather than the head. I first thought that he might have gone off for like a head assessment, head injury assessment, but yeah, it doesn't look like it. Possibly John Dobson just wanted to take him off, kind of save him. He's got another game coming up in Nelson Mandela Bay next weekend, so possibly being saved for that. Didn't want to risk any major further injury to the knee. Also because Sasha is under contract with the Springboks. So it's kind of a weird thing, that the club coach has got a responsibility towards the player to keep him in good shape for the national team. But yeah, I mean, rugby is a contact sport. You're going to get injured. Chances are you're going to get injured. Like we saw with the Bulls versus Connacht game. Wow. I think the injury time spent in that game was probably just evidence of the utter hard-fought contention for dominance within the game. I mean, both teams really, gave it their all. They fought hard to mount some kind of pressure onto the opposing team. 2 red cards. One against I think it was the number 8. Actually, as a matter of fact, they were both 8-man players. For the Bulls versus Connacht team, I mean, it was just ridiculous. I mean, the one was a tackle against Grobelaar. But Grobelaar goes into the tackle. He turns his back on the tackling player. Then the Irish number 8, Sean Jansen, Sean Jansen came in, and it looked like a deliberate swipe of the elbow to Grobelaar's face. Although he was like, as soon as the referee called him out on it, and he was like, there was an elbow to the face. It was an elbow, and it's like, what are you talking about? But again, I mean, that could have just been, kind of trying to cover up for himself. We don't know. I personally couldn't really detect a connection between the elbow and the face. but that is just purely the angle of the footage that we had. Upon review, the TMO and the referee basically felt that there was contact between the elbow and the face, and that warranted a red card. Very dangerous, very deliberate play. It did look like it was deliberate play because he wasn't actually actively involved in the tackle, and you could see a swipe from the elbow. Whether it connected or not, I don't know. I can't for sure say. The ref seems to think so. The TMO seems to think so. Sean Johnson still, pretty much on the bench, still shook his head, didn't agree with it. So I don't know. Only 2 tries scored by both teams. One by Colin Blade, and then the other one by David Hankshaw in the second half. I think there was about 4 tries scored by the Bulls. Yeah, so they got a bonus point. There was kind of a danger with Connacht really doing a strong comeback in the second half that could have led to another third try, anything, putting them within 7 points of the final score. So they would have gotten a bonus point there. Plus the Bulls got a bonus point for scoring 4 tries within the game. But luckily for the Bulls, their defense held. Even when Gumede went off with a red card for dangerous play, he basically, it was kind of weird because the David Hankshaw, number 22, Irish player from Connacht, grabbed him by the leg as Gumede wasn't even part of the ruck at that stage, and Hankshaw just kind of grabbed his leg, lifted up, and kind of started dancing with him. So Gumede was he wasn't even looking what he's doing, but he put his hand in the eye area on Hankshaw. So was there a bit of a kind of Nick White play there? Sort of almost kind of taking a dive type of intent there from David Hankshaw. I don't know. It didn't look like an IREC, although that's how they kind of claimed it to be. The captain, the Connacht captain, went to the ref and said, "Look, it was an IREC over here." So the referee said, "Okay, well, call for the TMO. I'll investigate it." And I'm not sure if there was any kind of foul play there because Gumede wasn't even looking. He was constantly just trying to keep his, sort of situational awareness going. Where's the ball? Where's the play awareness going? And there was no intent to harm. The intent was to basically get Hankshaw off him. And unfortunately, obviously Gumede's size is like towering a full 1.5 length above Hankshaw, and he pushed him, unfortunately, on the face, in the eye area, which is a no-no, a huge no-no in rugby. You cannot actually put any kind of hand, fingers, anything close to the eye area on the person's face. So the Gumede was issued a red card for foul play, but that's the 28-14 final score for the Bulls. Really a kind of feather in their cap. It did kind of equalize it because most of the game, the Connacht was playing with 14 men against 15, as I don't think the 20-minute red card rule has been implemented in the URC yet. So they had to go for the entire game without their player, and Gumede only went off in the second half. So for the large part of their play, they played with 14 men, large part of the game. Now for the Lions versus Munster. A hard-fought match as well. I mean, I think both teams were pretty equally matched. But yet again, Lions would always like make attack moves, brilliant strategic moves, with the cross kicks, up and overs, going for long passes. Just the ball handling wasn't always there, and they would get to the into the 22 of the Munster, fight hard, but the Munster defense would just be enough to kind of keep them at bay long enough for the Lions players to make some unforced error, ball handling error, possibly lose control of the ball in tackle. So that kind of just kind of ruined it. Only Lions points on the board was basically from one try that they scored within the first half, and then a penalty goal conversion. But not much else. Unfortunately, the guys they fought hard. I mean, Volhurter and Huan Horn, sorry, played very hard. Very well played by most of the players there. Sanele Nohamba, I don't know, for some reason he kind of, whenever he would pass, especially going for long pass, he would dip into the pass kind of thing, resulting in his teammates having to reach down for the ball to try and retrieve it. Now, I don't know why he would think that would be a good idea to do. And generally, it is a lot more easier for a teammate to receive the ball if it's basically thrown in his, general torso area, midriff to chest area, rather than to have to reach down, reach up for high balls or low balls kind of thing. It's never a good idea to try and, pass those kind of balls. But kudos to Munster. These guys, kept the pressure on, and they fought hard for the pressure, especially in the second half. I don't know, it was maybe like a pep talk or something that they underwent, but they came back strong and completely dominated the second half, forcing errors onto the Lions players, keep them under pressure the whole time. Even though they sometimes would try and get them into the second half. Obviously, Lions going into the second half with a 3-point lead, I believe. It's just after in the second half coming back, they just didn't. They couldn't perform. Munster just completely retaliated, and I have to kind of draw your attention to one specific try by, I think, Van der Merwe, where he literally bulldozed through 7 Munster defenders. Bloody well done. Very strong carry, very strong, drive, and it was just, I don't know, maybe he drew that strength from somewhere, but he completely outwitted, outran and totally forced his way through 7 defenders to score the try for the Lions in the first half. Very well played for that young man. Definitely, somebody to watch out for. Again, bringing it back to the Sharks versus Stormers game, the penalty try right at the end, putting Stormers kind of in the last 2 minutes of the game, putting the Stormers within the 7-point mark, the 7-point advantage mark for this, giving them the bonus point still, even though they lost. But that kind of was a bit of a blessing in disguise for the Stormers. Which would put them within striking distance of scoring a try, convert, and then winning the game. But unfortunately, that didn't materialize. Just one of those sad truths, I'm afraid. But yeah, going on to next week, it's pretty exciting lineup, if I have to say so myself. Again, for the URC. challenge. I can call that up quickly here. Um, in the Investec Championships Cup. I don't know. It's always been kind of weird. I don't know if the two are connected, the URC and the Investec Championships Cup, but they always seem to kind of overlap, don't they? The Stormers versus Toulon next week in the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. So not exactly home ground, but it is on South African soil. Then we have the Saracens versus the Bulls at the Stone Egg Stadium. And then we've got with the Sharks versus the Exeter Chiefs playing off at the Hollywood Bets Kings Park. So 2 games on home soil for the Sharks there, which is pretty much a win for them, I believe. So yeah, that is again 3 absolute exciting games to look forward to. Glasgow Warriors facing off against the Sale Sharks next week as well, for anybody that's interested in that. Munster going up against Stade Francais. Racing 92 up against the Harlequins. And then, of course, Clermont facing off against Benetton next week as well. So, yeah, something absolutely to look forward to. Some great rugby coming up this next weekend. That I will be doing reviews on as well. And then the final standings is out for the international rankings. Men's 15 rugby, 15 aside rugby ranking. South Africa with 92.778 points, right at the top. That's followed by Ireland, 90.78 points. On the 3rd spot is New Zealand with 90.36 points. France, 88.51 points. And then the absolute miracle. And I've said it from the beginning, this team has made leaps and bounds of improvement within their game. So much more impactful within the season than any other game, really, and any other team, really. Argentina is in the top 5 of the world rankings, coming in at number 5 with 84.97 points. Argentina, guys, you can really pat yourselves on the back. Well done. Absolutely. Not a single UK team, a Britain team in there, because Ireland is number 2, but apparently they have now gained independence. As far as I understand, they're no longer part of the Commonwealth or the United Kingdom. So yeah, no United Kingdom team within the top 5 of world rankings. Scotland coming in at number 6, England at number 7. So yeah, unfortunately. Where's Wales? Let's have a look. Number 11. So yeah, the UK not doing too well with this in this season's international rankings. Fiji is at number 9. Very well done there. Australia trailing in at number 8. Could have done better. Australia has always been a strong team. They've really fallen off the bus a bit this year, which is kind of sad because there's a lot of good talent, a lot of excellent talent within that team. And they honestly deserve better. So, yeah, that is it for me for this week, guys. I will be covering the Investec Cup International Cup this coming weekend. So, yeah, stay tuned. Keep your beers on ice as always, and join me this coming weekend for some great rugby. Thank you for watching, guys. Give me a like and subscribe, and please, your comments down below. Let me know what you think of this weekend's games. What improvements do you think the players can make in their strategies, in their performances on field? And yeah, just let's all have a great discussion down in the comments field. Please remember to be respectful to other people and other commenters as well. And I can't wait to see you guys this weekend. Peace out.